Donald Trump's dark past continues to surface. We here at the Midas Touch Network have this exclusive report for you. We've managed to locate video from a 1991 beauty pageant called Look of the Year that Donald Trump threw with a guy named John Casablancas from Elite Model Management. Casablancas died in 2013, allegedly from throat cancer. Casablancas had affairs, sexually assaulted 15-year-old girl, a 17-year-old girl. I'm going to go through Casablancas' background with you.
What you are about to see is not from a movie. This is not fiction. This is real footage, real events, real girls. And Donald Trump was right there in the middle of all of it. A secret beauty pageant, underage girls, powerful men, and a network of connections that goes all the way to some of the most dangerous names in history. Buckle up, because this story is only just getting started.
We hear a lot about Trump's connections with Epstein. Donald Trump was also very close with this Casablancas guy. Elite Model Agency was used to prey on underage girls as well. All right, so let me share this with you. You have Donald Trump at this 1991 beauty pageant. Here are some of the photos that we have. You see him right here. The little girls would come into the room, again, mostly underage. They would come into the room in bathing suits, very little clothing, and he would sit there and he would judge them and he would determine if they can make it through the next round.
Little girls in bathing suits, walking in front of grown men, and Donald Trump was the one deciding who stayed and who left. Think about that for 1 second. These were children, some as young as 14 years old, being judged by powerful men in a room. And the man running this entire show had one of the most disturbing friend circles ever uncovered in American political history.
Here are some of the photos we've been able to identify. You can see Donald Trump right there looking at these girls who he made wear the bathing suits and kind of walk in front of him. And again, some of these girls as young as 14. Here's a photo of what the actual competition looked like from the 1991 Look of the Year. This was from the Guardian's report on it. Let me read for you what they said, what happened the night before the event. Then I'm going to show you some of the video that we've been able to locate at the Midas Touch Network. So this was a photo from the Guardian article, a still from a previously unseen footage of the 1991 Look of the Year finale.
The Guardian, one of the most respected newspapers in the entire world, did a full investigation, and what Guardian reporters found will make your jaw drop. This was not just a beauty contest. This was something much darker, something that powerful people tried to hide for decades. And right now, you are seeing it for the very first time.
There are articles from about 10 years ago or so. Teen models, powerful men, and private dinners when Trump hosted Look of the Year. It's actually from 2020. In the early 1990s, Donald Trump judged the world's biggest modeling competition, since hit by allegations of abuse. This is how people who were there remember it. On September 1st, 1991, a large private yacht cruised toward the Statue of Liberty. It was a clear, breezy evening, and from the upper deck of the Spirit of New York, a golden sunset could be seen glinting off the Manhattan skyline. Downstairs, a party was in flow. Scores of teenage girls in evening dresses.
A private yacht. The Statue of Liberty in the background. September 1991. On the outside, it looked like a glamorous night in New York City. But what was happening inside that boat tells a completely different story. Scores of teenage girls, some just 14 years old, were dancing under disco lights. And surrounding them were older men. Men old enough to be their grandfathers. Men pressing themselves against these children on the dance floor. This was not a party. This was a predator's playground. And Donald Trump was a regular guest.
And miniskirts, some as young as 14, danced under disco lights. It could have been a high school prom were it not for the crowd of older men surrounding them. As the evening wore on, some of the men, many old enough to be the girls' fathers or even grandfathers, joined them on the dance floor, pressing themselves against the girls. One balding man in a suit wrapped his arms around two young models. underage girls, leering into the film camera that was documenting the evening. Can you get some beautiful women around me, please? The party aboard the Spirit of New York was one of several events that Donald Trump, then 45, attended with a group of 58 aspiring young models that September. Again,
did you hear that? Can you get some beautiful women around me, please? These were not women. These were little girls, teenagers, children. And the man on that boat was laughing and leering into a camera while wrapping his arms around them. Now here is the most important thing you need to understand. This was not some random party. This was an organized competition, an official event, with judges, with cameras, with powerful men who had access to these girls all night long. And Donald Trump attended multiple events with these same 58 underage models that September.
Mostly underage girls. And it talks about how this was part of the elite Look of the Year competition. Elite model management was run by John Casablancas. He since died in 2013. So Casablancas' marriage to his second wife, Jeanette Christensen, ended in 1983 when it was revealed he was having an affair with a 15-year-old girl who he described as a woman child, is how he described the girls that he would be with. He called them woman child. This was, again, one of Donald Trump's best friends. And then he had a marriage to
John Casablancas, Donald Trump's close friend and business partner, called 15-year-old girls woman child. He left his wife for a teenager he found through his own modeling competition. And this is the man Donald Trump chose to go into business with. The man Donald Trump stood next to while judging children in bathing suits. The man whose agency was later investigated for using these competitions to exploit and abuse vulnerable young girls. You do not do business with someone like this by accident. You do not stand shoulder to shoulder with a predator and not know what is going on.
Aline Worlminger, who was a 17-year-old from the Look of the Year competition. A 2020 Guardian investigation into Elite's Look of the Year competition uncovered allegations from former contestants and industry insiders that these competitions, the events that I'm about to show you that Trump attended as well, were used by Casablancas and others to engage in sexual relationships with vulnerable young models, some of whom were teenagers. The allegations range from sexual harassment, exploitation, and in some cases rape. The investigation highlighted a culture.
The allegations in this Guardian investigation are absolutely devastating. Sexual harassment, exploitation, and in some cases rape. These were not rumors. These were accounts from real women, real girls who were there. Real survivors who came forward years later and told the world what happened to them behind closed doors at these events. And every single one of these events, Donald Trump was there. Donald Trump judged these girls. Donald Trump attended the parties. Donald Trump was connected to the man running the whole operation. And now Donald Trump sits in the White House,
where young girls, often aged 14 to 18, were exposed to older men in powerful positions at events like after parties where alcohol was served to minors. So now I have the videotape of the Look of the Year 1991 competition. I have the full event. It's too hard to watch. If you want me to post it, I'll post it on another thread. But let me just show you some of the lowlights of this event. This is what happened, and you can see that these are young girls. These are little girls dressed like in very little clothing, dancing, and just watch for yourself. Let's play it.
The Look of the Year contest is the ultimate contest for women that want to go all the way in the modeling business, featuring 58 of the world's most beautiful young women.
Alcohol served to minors at events where teenage girls were surrounded by powerful older men. This is not speculation. This is what the Guardian investigation found. And now, you are about to see actual video footage from the 1991 Look of the Year competition. The same competition Donald Trump co-hosted. The same competition where 14-year-old girls were made to walk in front of judges in tiny clothing. Watch this footage very carefully, because what you are seeing is the actual environment these children were placed into by the adults who were supposed to protect them.
Competing for more than $700,000 in prizes. Chance of a dream come true. Career as one of modeling's superstars. We'll take you behind the scenes and onto the runway. You can see the fun, feel the excitement. You'll pick your favorite, along with our panel of expert and celebrity judges. Enjoy front row VIP seats at our gala evening. One of these contestants will be selected the girl with the look of the year.
700,000 in prizes. Dreams of becoming a superstar. That is what these girls were promised. That is the bait that was used to bring 14, 15, 16, and 17-year-old girls from around the world onto private yachts and into rooms full of grown, powerful men. These children were lured with a promise of a better life. And what they got instead was a nightmare that many of them have been living with for decades. And what happens next will shock you. But before we spill the tea, make sure to like this video and subscribe to this channel, because we are on a mission to bring all the truth out. You can be a part of us in this journey by subscribing.
Here's another clip where it talks, and you heard Donald Trump there as well. So here's another clip right here of the kind of pre-competition to get into the finals, if you will. And just watch how creepy this is. Here, play this clip.
58 contestants participated in an exhaustive round of personal interviews designed to help our judges discover what makes each one special.
Okay, thank you very much. The concentration was intense inside the judging room. I can't. Doubt. Each girl was considered not only for her beauty and poise, but also for her personality. That indefinable something.
Watch that footage very carefully. These are children being told to pull their hair back, being measured, being looked up and down by grown men sitting in judgment seats. These are not adults. These are teenagers who were told this was their big chance at fame and success. And the man overseeing all of this, the man whose name was on the competition, was Donald Trump. The same Donald Trump who bragged on audio about walking into dressing rooms to inspect women who were not dressed. And now, you are about to hear Donald Trump say those exact words himself.
Okay, you put your hair back 1 second. Thank you very much. When it came time to choose the 21 finalists, emotions ran high as each judge expressed his or her opinion. For finalists.
She said you had. And I said, yeah. No.
Now,
Donald Trump did not deny this. Donald Trump did not say this was taken out of context. Donald Trump bragged about it. Donald Trump sat down with Howard Stern, one of the most listened to radio hosts in America, and laughed while describing how Donald Trump would walk backstage into dressing rooms where women and girls were naked or half-dressed. Donald Trump called it inspecting. Donald Trump said he could do it because Donald Trump owned the pageant. This is not an allegation. This is not a rumor. This is Donald Trump's own voice, his own words, recorded on tape.
one of the things that we know as well is that Donald Trump, and he talked about this, that he would inspect the girls in the beauty pageants that he would hold. You know, he held a lot of beauty pageants, so you'll just, whichever beauty pageants he's talking about here, he would look at them naked, and he would inspect them, and he said because he was the leader of the competition, he was the owner, you can inspect them naked. He said, you do it when you're the leader, they let you do it. Here he is on audio saying that to Howard Stern, so you can just hear in his own words, so you know that I'm not paraphrasing, just hear what he says.
I sort of get away with things. Those are Donald Trump's own words, not the media's words, not a political opponent's words. Donald Trump said that Donald Trump gets away with things. And what Donald Trump was describing, walking unannounced into rooms where women and girls were naked and undressed, is not something any normal person would do. It is not something any decent employer would do. It is not something any respectable man would do. And yet Donald Trump did it repeatedly. Donald Trump laughed about it, and Donald Trump called it an obligation.
Here, play this clip.
Well, you could also say, as the owner of the pageant, it's your obligation to do that.
So you have done that. Now,
I'll tell you the funniest is that I'll go backstage before a show.
Yes.
And everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else. And, no men are anywhere. And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it. I'm inspecting. I want to make sure that
You're like a
everything's
doctor.
good.
You're there.
Yeah, the dress. Is everyone okay? They're standing there with no. Is everybody okay? And you see these incredible-looking women. And so I sort of get away with things.
And then we have the confirmation of what's happening from some of the contestants in the beauty pageant. Like,